Ah,
Welcome back, Gene. How are you?
I'm well, mate. I'm well. Yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm honoured that you're the only person to come back a second time.
And I've got me wine.
Oh, I'm I'm on coffee. What's your tip, or what wine do you like?
I like a nice wine. Um, I'm drinking a nice white Rioja.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. It's one of my favourites. I love Malbec, pink champagne. I have a lot of pink champagne.
Yeah. Even on it.
Do you know what? I've not bought a bottle of wine for years. I get them from customers. They always say, "What tipple do you want?" And I just say, "Oh, well, I'll give them a choice."
Well, it's nice to have a wine occasionally on a school night, isn't it?
Well, I only ever have wine. I mean, crikey, I dread to think how many bottles I've got. I probably have a couple of glasses a week. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
But special occasions like this, well, out comes the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I've got some lager in my mug, you know? It's no, it's coffee.
Why not? Sod it.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on again. You were one of my
One thing I've
first
got to say,
first guests, weren't
I
you?
had a lot of messages.
Did you?
Yeah, I had quite a few. Yeah, several people want to meet up with me at the show in Bolton.
Yeah.
Um, and But I just wonder how many people have done what I've said of how to increase your earnings.
So just quickly, what were people contacting you about, in particular about earnings, yeah?
Yeah, in particularly like saying, how can you earn 400 a day minimum when you're in the knots area? And I've just said to them, watch the podcast,
Mm,
and some of my local decorators in my local area are still the same. Oh no, I can't get more than 200. I can't get more than 200. Well, try bloody asking. You know, as I said, start at my one guy I know did my 10% rule. He was on about 180, so bumped it up to 200, no problem. And he thought, wow, I'll try another 10%, no problem. He's now up to about 250 a day. So going from 180 to 250 in the space of a couple of months
yeah.
is brilliant.
Well, let's start, for those that didn't see your original masterpiece, let's start again. And we said before we come on, let's talk about money. We all want to earn more money. So let's start from the beginning and where you were perhaps a number of years ago and what changed you and what started it all off.
Well, basically, probably about 3 years ago, I think now, I Phil Beckwith. Most people know Phil Beckwith, brilliant bloke. Um, he had this podcast or whatever we call it on YouTube on his channel about how many days in a year you can actually work. By the time you take off, I know this isn't relevant to everybody, but I'd probably say about 90%. If by the time you take your weekends off, your bank holidays off, uh, your actual holidays off, that's over 100 days of the year gone.
Sickness,
Yeah,
potentially.
and downtime as well. But that time, you could easily be up to 4 months of the year you ain't working. Very easily, that can happen. So when you worked it out to what Phil was saying, I was thinking, because I was earning pretty good money, 220, 240, and more for spraying and wallpapering. But I just thought, sod this, I'm going to double it overnight. And I did. But luckily I had about 3-4 months work ahead booked in. It was hard for the first 4-6 weeks. Because everybody thought, ooh. But something happened just like that, a light bulb moment sort of thing. I got the better customers that didn't worry. They just wanted the job doing great without having to be on your back. Oh, you missed this, you done that, can you do this? Can you? And that's when it all kicked off. And it's just ballooned from there. It's just ballooned from there. But the biggest thing is I got in with interior designers. And I spend about 3 months a year now in London because there's property that we have in London. I was down there doing it between tenancies, and 2 doors down from me, I didn't realise because I don't live down there. Was he's the interior designer to the stars. He's the architect to the stars. She's the interior designer to the stars. So that was it. Boom. I was in there. So they're huge, and they're mega money. That's mega money down there. And when I see the people on the forums saying, "Oh, even in London, it's only like," you see some people saying advertising jobs for 200 quid a day or something. You think, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you desperate? Are you that desperate? You got to take that? I mean, it's ridiculous. But I think the biggest problem is the decorators themselves don't trust themselves, if that makes sense. They're scared. They're scared of change, like, from the old oil base to the water based stuff now. I don't touch oil at all, verboten. And I think if they can change their minds as to how they approach customers, they'll get better customers. I don't go, when somebody rings me up, I don't advertise. I haven't advertised for, oh God, over 10 years, well over 10 years. And what I've done is I basically turned around and said to people, I'm not going to come out and see you. Before, I'm not wasting my time traveling around because, everything's recommendations now. And if somebody rings me up and say, "Oh, you did my next door neighbour's house, can you come and have a look at mine?" I'll say no. Send me some pictures. Send me some pictures of the room or rooms you want me to look at, and I'll look at it and I'll get back to you. And if I don't like the look of the job, I think I'll sod it. Or I'll say, yeah, okay, I'll ring them up. What do you want doing to that room? And we'll have maybe a half-hour chat on it. And I'll say, well, you know how much this is going to cost, don't you? Do you have a budget? I always ask them if they have a budget. And if they won't tell me, that's it, I'm not bothering. Because I know I know it's like giving away their budget. But, when you can do a whole house and you can spend $2,000 on paint, some customers don't understand the cost of stuff. So when you educate, you have to educate them on this. Like, there ain't many good tin. Look, 5 litres of paint now, a decent brand is over 100 quid.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that. They think, what? Because they're used to paying B&Q or Homebase or Wilco's prices. And that's the problem. Retail versus trade.
Yeah.
It's... And then when the customer says, "Oh, I'll get the paint," no, sorry. I refuse point blank to let them get it. Even if I tell them the paint I'm going to be using, because in my quotes, I'll always tell them the paint I'm using. And if they ring up and say, "Oh, I'll buy the paint," I say no. Because I'm charging them 10% more than what it's costing. So the shelf price. So I'm already getting my discount and I'm putting 10% on top of that. And why should you give away your discounts? That's one of the biggest arguments I have with decorators locally. Oh, I just show them the price what I get it at. Why?
Yeah, no other trade does it.
Yeah, I say to them, if you get a bloody carpenter or a plumber or an electrician, they're not gonna, or a bricky, they're not gonna do it. They just expect us to roll over, but that ain't happening.
So we've talked already lots of different areas here, and we both established last time, we've both been established a long time, and through word of mouth and recommendations, we get more inquiries. What would you say to someone just starting out, or the ones that say, look, I can't charge anymore just in case I don't get it? How do you get past that particular mindset, would you say?
Right. I'd say it's quite simple. When I go and see a customer, a new customer, my previous customers who have me back, they know the process I go through. I will walk through each room of the customer and I will point out exactly what I'm going to do. My dustless extra, all the floor will be protected, all the windows will be protected, everything will be taped up, totally protected. It'll be totally sanded, all the holes in the walls filled and etc. etc. And once they hear that, they then start to appreciate how long it's going to take. And they'll say, oh, well, my husband decorated this room in a day. And I say, I'll actually be quite rude about it sometimes. And I'll say, yeah, it looks it. But it'll take a day of prepping. It'll take probably a day of prepping. Sometimes I've done one room where it's been 3 or 4 days of prep. And when you say that and they actually see you working, their minds change, that they're actually seeing what they're paying for. And I think that's the issue a lot of new people to the trade have. But I go further back than this. Those that go to college, I think, are the worst off. This is just my opinion.
Go on. Yeah.
Because they don't teach them these sort of things.
No.
You get your MVQ or whatever the hell you call it now, and out they go. Well, what good's that if you aren't taught how to quote and what you should do when you're quoting? Or they just write a quote out with no terms and conditions. I mean, my terms and conditions are watertight. It's a 30% deposit minimum, usually between 25 and 30% deposit. Well, it's not a deposit, I call it a booking fee. Never call it a deposit. A deposit is legally refundable. It's a non-refundable booking fee. I will let them change the dates, obviously, if they're having building work done and it all goes tits up. Yeah, that happens.
Mm.
So I'll let them change it once. I'm very lucky in that I have normally 2, maybe 3 jobs booked in almost overlapping. So I'm on outsides at a massive manor house at the minute, 7-bed manor house. It's a grade 2 listed. And literally all the windows are, crikey, I've probably used about 200 quid of repair care already. And I'm not even halfway through it. But when the weather's bad, I'll hop onto an interior. I will only work see, when I go to look at a job, I'm interviewing the client. They think they're interviewing me, but I'm actually interviewing them. And I'll say to them, these are my terms. I want 25 to 30% booking fee now, even if it's 3 or 4 months ahead. That will get you in my diary. Then 1 week before I start work, sometimes 2 weeks, depending on the type of job it is, I want all the money up front for materials. And my materials include, I don't know why decorators don't bill for incidentals, sandpaper, fillers, corks. A lot of them don't. They include that in their prices. Why? You're having to pay out for the damn stuff. Anything, most trades will bill you for every last screw, nut and washer.
Yeah.
Except decorators.
How do you work it out? Say you've got just a simple bedroom to do. Have you got like a spreadsheet where you will
No,
allocate
it's up
certain
here.
amount?
It's up here. It's
Right.
up here. I know roughly when I look at the place what I'm going to use and what I'm going to need. It's usually a minimum, like one room is normally a minimum of 30 quid. It's usually 30 to 60 quid. It's very rarely a room will go over 60 quid incidentals. So you're talking about your corks, fillers, sanding pads, all that sort of stuff.
Floor
And
protection.
I also, a new roller. I always put down for a new roller. And I won't, I doubt I'll need it, but it's there. It's like when I'm spraying, every job gets billed for a new tip. And a tip can last me 3 or 4 jobs. But I'll get a new tip, bump, and I'll put a new tip on. And also your masking stuff, your films, and whether you use the cardboard paper stuff on the floor or whatever, put that down as well. Okay, you can reuse it a couple of times, but so what? So what? It's you have to make sure you are not being fleeced out of your own pocket, because that's bringing your day rate down, your equivalent of your day rate down. That's the issue.
Your day rate should be obviously what you want for labour, not all the other
That's
bits
it.
and bobs, like you say.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. But so many decorators that I talk to, they just say, no, it's all included. It's all included. Why? So if you're getting your house plumbed, is that included? Or is he charging you extra for the plumbing stuff, for all the copper? Of course he is.
Mm.
We should be getting out of this cauldron where all the decorators seem to be. We're the poor guys of all the trades. We're the last boys going in, trying to sort out the shit jobs that the joiners and the plasterers are done, and the
Yeah.
electricians.
Yeah.
You know what? I had a house back end of last year where it was a complete renovation. I mean, the renovation was about 200 grand. And it allowed a good budget for decorating. And he was one of the few I've really seen. He allowed 10% to go towards the decorating. So I had 20 grand. He said, that's your budget. You sort it. And that was it. That was brilliant. But the electrician had put the bloody 24 spotlights in the wrong position. So he had to go back and do it again. And guess what? He threw the bloody holes away.
It
I thought,
doesn't surprise
Jesus
me.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's a ball ache of a job doing that.
Was that on top of the 20 grand as well to repair it all?
No, I included it on that one because there was plenty money in it for me.
Yeah. You make some great points, Gene, and you did from our last podcast. And I know there'd be kickback or, people, their brains would be swirling and be thinking, I can't do this, Gene. I won't
Just
get
tell
any
them
jobs.
to get that. Just tell them to have a glass.
Bit of Dutch courage. But there will be kickback. There'll be like, I won't get any work, Gene. What changed it for you where you just suddenly, what was the light bulb moment where you're like, oh my God, I can earn double or whatever?
It was trying to think what it was actually. But no, what actually happened was because I'd got those 3 months booked ahead,
Yeah, you could afford
I
to chance
wasn't
it.
I wasn't worried too much about it. So, but I got rejections for about the first month, 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. But I thought I'm keeping on with this. But the biggest thing was the interior designers.
Mm.
And I say to people, who has the most money? What sort of people have the most money? People that use interior designers. Because I don't know, and I'll explain this again, 99% of decorators will probably have no idea actually how interior designers work. Literally all of them will charge a fee for doing a room or a whole house or whatever. They'll charge a blanket fee, let's say 20 grand or whatever. They will then charge a minimum of 10 to 20% on top of all the trades they are getting in. Think about that. 20%. So here's the issue. Most interior designers probably have half a dozen decorators they rely on. Something like that. If you've got one at 200 quid a day, I never do a day rate, but we all have a day rate in our head, what we need. So if they've got a 200 quid a day decorator or a 400 quid a day decorator, which one are they going to choose?
Good point.
The dearer one. Because if they're putting 20% on top of me, as opposed to 20% on somebody that, they're making twice the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he could be better than me at 200 quid a day. But they're there to make money. We're all here to make money. That's what it all boils down to. How much do you want to earn to have a decent life? Now, I say to a lot of decorators, it's like I went to the local meeting with Jessica and the
Yeah, yeah,
Nottingham business.
yeah.
And I said to a couple of people there, what do you think is a good wage for a decorator a year? I was gobsmacked. Honestly, I was gobsmacked. One said 30, 40, 50. What? Why don't you go and get a job at stacking shelves where you get a pension, you get set wage, you get holiday pay?
Mm.
No, no.
Do you not
That
think
is,
do you not think a lot of it, Gene, is sometimes your home environment, how you've been brought up, your mindset around money has a big factor.
yeah, it is. And that's something you'll never change. I don't think you'll ever change that.
But you can change it, right?
You can. I did. I changed it. I changed it just like that. Watching that. And I say to everybody, please watch that Phil Beckwith video from about 3 years ago. It blew my mind when he went down at how much time you lose in a year through holidays, illness, your weekends, your bank holidays, time down when you haven't got any work. It can be frightening. And there's
Yeah,
a lot of decorators that probably they're literally living hand to mouth. They
yeah.
literally are.
I think
And
many
you
are.
know,
Many are.
yes, but how do you get them out of that? They've got to be willing to try something new. That's the issue. They've got to be able to try something new.
Yeah. I mean, it's the definition of madness, isn't it? Doing the same thing every day and every week and expecting different results. You know,
Yeah. Tis.
Got to, like you say, try something different.
But if they don't, they're just going to. If they don't, Gary, this is what's going to happen. As each year goes by, they're earning less.
Not as quick,
Inflation.
not as fit.
I know several people at my local paint shop, and they've been on the same money for 4 or 5 years. Well, what can you say to them? How can you say to them if they don't listen? They have got to be prepared to listen. Sorry, not listen. They've got to be prepared to change. Is it any different, Gary, to people going from oil to water based? Is it any different?
Well, like you say, you still got a lot of old boys which are old school and will stick with oil base, and they're the same ones which are potentially sticking with what they know best and not pushing themselves and not earning great money, you know?
Well, the funny thing is, it's not. Certainly not in my area. It's the young ones that are struggling.
Mm.
It's the young ones that they're scared to actually ask for more. But as I said, there was one that did, and he's earning 50, 60 quid a day more. Now, if you think 50, 60 quid a day, it's 300 quid a week, is 15 grand a year more. That's the difference between living and surviving. I don't want to work to survive. Sod that. I mean, Christ, I'm 68 this year. I live a very, very comfortable life. But, I could retire right now, but I love the job. I love the work. I love meeting new people. I love being creative. And I must admit, I do try. I do only do the jobs now that I like, that I want to do.
Just one point, Gene. Do you believe, and I know this is true, right? So what you described when you go around and see a customer, nobody, I don't feel many painters do it. They don't warm them up. They don't explain what they do. So essentially they're competing against two other decorators, and the customer's naturally going to go for the cheaper one because you haven't explained why they should pay a better rate.
Well, I also think that, I'm not having a go at any decorator. I'm not having a go at any manufacturer, but I won't use cheap products. I don't think it works in the long run. The only time, I tell a lie here, I will use a chip for a landlord bash, where I just have to quickly spray the old bloody house, bump. Yeah, I'll just use whatever cheap stuff that I've got. But when I'm doing it for an individual in their own home, that's a different kettle of fish. I only want to use Little Green, Brad Eye, Tickerilla, Zinza. They're basically my go-tos. Or for, also Crown Clean Extreme. They're my go-tos. I very, very rarely will move from those. I won't touch Farrow and Ball. Um, I will use the Farrow and Ball eggshell. I will use that. I won't use the emulsions. I'll always get it into something else.
Have you not
But
tried dead flat for Farrenball?
yeah, yeah, don't like it.
Then you.
Don't like it. But I've never liked Farrow and Ball. Buggers your paintbrushes up, buggers your rollers up. There's too much chalk in the bloody paint. I just don't like it.
Mm.
Just don't like it. Little Green, on the other hand, oh, I'd use that every day. I mean, it's one of my biggest ones this year.
Well, like you say, cheap products is a false economy because it takes longer, as in labour wise, to apply and,
Yeah,
multiple
you
coats
you, you could be putting 3 or 4 coats on
yeah, it's a false
as opposed
economy.
to two.
Yeah.
And trade paint goes further as well.
Yes.
It can thin it down a bit, bump. I very rarely, I'll only ever thin down for cutting in. Otherwise, it's straight out the tub. Obviously, when I'm spraying, sometimes it'll get down, it'll get thinned down a bit. Um, depending on what paint it is. I mean, the hardest one to spray without any doubt is Bradite, but that is my go-to for wood. Bradite now. Jesus God, it's brilliant. Also, Super Deck. Sadlin Super Deck is
Yeah. I haven't
brilliant.
used that for a long time.
Oh, it buggers your brushes up, but I rang them up the other day complaining that, it says clean your brushes out in soapy water, warm soapy water. I says, I tried it and it's absolutely knackered me brush. It's, I don't know, it's a lovely product, but I just add a brush onto the cost.
Yeah, exactly. So stripping it right back, Gene, it's one step at a time. For someone's not who's not particularly busy, try the 10% rule is a good start, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, by doing the 10% rule, unless you're established, you can't suddenly add 100, 150 or double your wages. Unless you've got a good background, etc., etc. Also, I think you have to when I go and look at how see the customer in their house and we walk around it, blah blah blah. You've got to be confident. Not, well, yeah, I think, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, no, you've got to tell them. Got to tell them exactly what you're going to do to that door, to that cupboard, to that skirting. You've got to go right the way through it with them. And if you appear confident, you might be shaking inside, but be confident, and that confidence transfers to them. They feel confident. Wow, this guy knows what he's doing. We've never been told that before.
Like you said, Gene, none of this. Well, I don't know about colleges, but that's the problem. A lot of people are good painters, but they're not good at running a business, and
Exactly. Yeah.
it's not taught, is it?
Well, I I always used to have once a year the local college always asked me to have somebody on like a work experience for a week in their last year, and I jacked it in a couple of years ago. I had this girl, and she was brilliant at wallpapering. Honestly, she was brilliant. Couldn't cut in, couldn't roll a wall. And I said to her, look, come on, let's jack this in for the day. Let's go for a drink. And she was a brilliant, she wanted to learn. And I said to her, what's the problem? She says, well, the tutors spend 70% of the time teaching us how to wallpaper. And I said to her, why? I said, well, I asked them that, and they said wallpapering's coming back. But you've got
Yeah,
to get the basics right first of how to bloody cut in and use a brush and a roller.
yeah, absolutely.
But it's a funny thing is, wallpapering to me, I've never done as much wallpapering. I've probably done more in the last year than I have in the previous 10.
Yeah, it's.
Mainly feature walls. It's very rarely a whole room. It's mainly a feature wall.
I've always had wallpapering ticking over, but never flat out with it.
Mm. I've never been flat out. Never been flat out. I've
Thankfully.
had a few jobs that have literally been nothing but wallpaper. Hardly any painting. Um, but I love wallpapering. I like the challenge. I find it very therapeutic. You know, I nearly died in a car accident 3 years ago in next week, actually. Um, and it gave me PTSD. And, I broke my arm in two places, my leg in two places, my hip, four ribs. Oh, I was really mangled. I was off work for a year. wallpapering now I find therapeutic
Mm,
because you have to sort of work out, depending on the patterns, you're sort of working out, right, where am I going to start? So the pattern's going to be sort of equal and this, that, and t'other. No two wallpapers are the same.
mm.
I hate paste the paper. Get rid of paste the paper. Paste the wall. Damn sight easier.
It is much better.
Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't switch off when you're wallpapering, so like you say, it's probably helpful because your mind can't wander, you know?
yeah. I do find though that prepping is the hardest thing for me.
Mm,
I really, what I tend to do is I have a checklist. Right, that window needs and go through everything. That window needs reputted and this, that, and so other. Which is what I do at this grade 2 listed place I'm doing at the minute. And it it helps me concentrate. Helps me concentrate. You'll probably get people saying, "No, you should know what you're doing." You should, yeah, well, you try having PTSD sometimes because there's sometimes your mind goes dunk, total blank.
mm.
And I'm thinking, it's like that when I'm spraying it. Luckily, it hasn't happened this year, touch wood, but it happened last year where I got there, I set the machine up, and I'm thinking, yeah, what do I do now? How do I set the machine up? So I went away, had a cup of coffee, come back, light bulb moment, and it all goes off. But it gives you that sort of mind blank at times.
Yeah,
It's getting better. It's getting better.
that must be hard.
Well, it can be. It can be. But I always tell the customer that I have PTSD. And I tell you what, so far, every single one has been good. Every single one's been good. Never be afraid of failure.
Mm,
That's what I always say to any decorator. Never be afraid of failure, because let's face it, every single one of us has buggered up.
yeah.
Sometimes you can get away with it when they're not there.
Especially,
I mean, I've hung wallpaper upside down because I.
I done it once. It cost me, I think, 800 quid to rectify. This bloody wisteria upside down. Oh man, I'll
I
never
actually
forget it.
did one years ago where it was a pattern. You know, when you look at it, the pattern was so small and your eyes go boss-eyed thinking, Jesus Christ. And I actually hung one roll in the middle of one roll from the end upside down. And I didn't notice it. And they never noticed it for 2 years until they asked me back to redecorate. They still hadn't noticed. I thought, God, I've got away with that one.
Well, some are reversed rolled as well, aren't they?
Oh,
Just to catch
God.
you out even more.
It's honestly some of the bloody wallpapers now. Oh, God. I mean, I hung one. Um, this was an interior designer I had a fallout with. Um, the wallpaper was like cardboard. It was like grass on card. And she'd ordered it to go round 3 corners of the chimney breast and the wall. I thought, shit, this ain't bending round. This ain't bending. And I got it round eventually. I thought, shit. And it did. It looked horrid. And the customer said, that don't look nice. So I rang the wallpaper company up and they said, it's not designed to go around corners.
Just a flat feature.
Flat wall. And I said to the interior designer, I said, you should be bloody knowing this and not recommending that type of bloody wallpaper
I had once,
in that area.
I had one wallpaper years ago and it had like glass pebbles all over it.
Oh, I've had them. Yeah, yeah.
I
Do they
mean,
come all come flying off
yeah,
everywhere?
like trying to cut it, it's like pinging off. Like, I mean, how ridiculous.
It's
Impossible.
like there's that glitter wallpaper now, isn't there?
Oh, God, I hate
I
glitter.
hung that a couple of years ago. Oh God, it was bloody awful.
Yeah, so I done one years ago. It was a black paper with giant gold bumblebees, and
God.
you butted up like the black paper, and it showed white, and they were like, "You're colouring the ends of it." I was like, "Oh man," this was like
Well, I had. Did
ridiculous.
you ever see that program Chateau DIY?
No, I haven't seen it.
It was a massive thing in France. They do these chateaus and that. Dick and Angel. Well, Angel brought out this wallpaper. I mean, this was about 3 years ago now, and it was a music producer near where I live. Big music producer. His wife wanted this bedroom wall doing, and for the kid. And I put the first roll up, perfect. The first drop up, perfect. Got the second. I thought something ain't right here. All it was big trees and butterflies. So either the butterflies matched up or the tree branches matched up. So I called him through and I said, look, what do you want me to do? Oh, for Christ's sake, says, there's a flaw in this wallpaper. Now it was 120 quid a roll, whatever it was. They had to get it in from, oh, God knows where they got it. So I just matched up the tree branches, but the butterflies were all out. But the tree branches were so prominent
Yeah.
that you had to match that up. And it was like 1, 2, 3, it's about half a dozen, 6, 7 drops of wallpaper. And not one butterfly matched. I thought, Jesus
I've
Christ.
just done one now. It got like bows we had to match up, and
Oh,
part of
God.
the bow would match up, but the bottom bit wouldn't match up. So it's like it just didn't match. It was like paste the wall, it's like, and it's like you just can't win. It just didn't match up. But it
I
looked
find
okay,
you get more likely to get mismatches on paste the paper
Yes.
than you are on paste the wall, because
Yes.
the paste the
It's
wall, you're not stretching the wallpaper as much. Oh, Christ, but, I mean, I'm about to try a brand new product that's not even out on the market yet. Uh, I've got to sign an NDA here.
mm,
Quick, look. It's a new rolling plaster. Um, to try that. So I've got the customer lined up. Uh, but again, that job's gone back. It was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago, but it ain't going to be done for about another 3. And they've actually one of the few companies that when companies ask you, for your opinions on things, there's 10 of us in the UK trying it, from what I'm made aware, um, and they want your opinions on the design of the tub, the colours of the tub, the writing on the tub. I'm thinking, why? And I spoke to them about it, and they said, well, that will determine your feedback. What all you guys are going to be doing is going to determine whether it's going to be sold in this country or not.
mm,
So not much pressure then, is there?
no, you better get it right. What about
Gotta get it right.
what
But
about
I
a
already,
wizard purple? We'll get a brush wizard on the side of it.
yeah, you want to do what Paint Warrior's doing and get your own brushes and rollers and that.
I need about 2 more million followers, and then we might be able to do it. But yeah, I mean, the brush wizard's design was chosen many years ago by the people in the community. So, like the name and the logo, I sort of put a
Yeah.
few options in, and yeah, it was a vote to choose brush wizards and choose this particular design. So, yeah, it's cool. I love it.
Are you going to the Bolton show?
I should be going. I've been going to a
Have you? Do you
lot of
know what,
Brewers
Gary?
shows. So I've been a bit here, there, and everywhere. So if I get
I
time,
think that show personally is better than Coventry was.
well, commentary's finished now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's gone. I
Yeah,
preferred Coventry. I ain't looking forward to the NEC. I'm not looking forward to that. The hotels are twice the price. The parking, at least at Bolton, I'm staying in the hotel there,
yeah, yeah,
and free parking and all that. And you get free food and drink there.
yeah.
You know, they should do that at the NEC. Christ almighty. The amount they bloody charge the exhibitors there. I mean, that's why a lot of them didn't go last year.
Yeah, I
The
probably
prices.
will go. It'd be nice to meet up with some people, and maybe have a beer after, if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Bloody right, I am.
All right, Gene.
Isn't
Well, we've been 45 minutes in, and it's gone very quickly,
it?
which is
Bloody
always
hell.
a good sign, hopefully, of a good
Yeah.
podcast. You're one of the top ones so far out of my new podcast. Uh, so you touch
Come on,
on
make it a million. Make it a
top
million or
two,
whatever.
make it to 100 views. But it's a good
How many
subject.
views did my last podcast get?
I honestly don't know off the top of my head,
Yeah.
um, because it goes across
Well,
Spotify.
hopefully I'll be the top two. I'll be number one and number two.
Yeah, I just think it's an important subject. You're all for supporting painters, and you're not boastful. It's just you're stating what is achievable.
But you know, the funny thing is about earning more money is that people don't think enough about it.
Mm,
It's like, well, okay, yeah, I might think about that. Yeah, yeah. I think to myself, don't you want a better life? Don't you want to, instead of working 6 or 7 days a week, don't you want to work 5 and earn the same amount?
yeah, I agree.
It, you
Nothing
know,
wrong in earning as much money as you can.
life is short.
Mm,
You've no idea how long you are on this planet. You're a long time dead. Um, and since my accident, I that is when things really changed. My mindset on things changed. And that. So all I can say to people is don't be afraid to ask for more. You can always come down, you can't go up. So if you're on, say, 200 quid a day, just try asking for 220. I bet you won't lose the job. And if you then still keep getting a lot of acceptances, that new 220 quid over 200, put it up another 20 quid and another 20 quid. You can always come down if you're desperate for work and that. But also these hubs that you've got going now, if there's a lot of if there's people that are around. I mean, I'm booked basically for the rest of the year. And I will say to customers now, because I still get referrals on a weekly basis, 2, 3 times a week. And I'll say, look, I can't fit you in till end of the year. And they'll say, we'll wait. Some won't.
mm,
I'd probably say half won't. Because depending on certain things, they will. I suppose most customers want things doing ASAP.
sure. Yeah.
But if they want you, they will wait.
Yeah. 100%.
They will wait. Don't be scared of making a customer wait. I mean, you try getting a doctor's appointment, got to wait.
You'll be dead before you get one.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Gene, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you so
And
much for
it's
your
been a
time.
pleasure talking to you again.
And I'll catch up soon, and hopefully in Bolton I'll see you, yeah?
Yeah, you will.
All right, mate.
I'll be there.
You take care.
And you, mate.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye.